Hello everybody, this is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into a long position on this morning's Emini S&P 500. Today I was watching the markets pre-market because we had some GDP reports coming out, and indeed it looks like that is what is driving this market movement right here at this 8:30 time right here with this huge candle up. Anyway, I got in a position after I saw this buy imbalance 250 plus 250 buy imbalance plus the Stooges signal. So this is very strong buy imbalance. Um, I'll just get right into it. I mean, I was looking, zooming out, I was looking this morning to see what was going on. The first thing, that I can see is that we've got, this sort of corridor here that we have congestion, right? And so what's interesting is that, as price was kind of chopping up and down, earlier this morning, when the report came out, price just boom, it jumped up, you know, um, which looks quite bullish to me. I noticed also if we zoom out and I draw this, we draw this ray, compared to the previous day, we have more demand compared to the previous day, so I know that there's a lot of demand. I know that we've got the speed of the offers right here, totally surpassing yesterday. And as we zoom in, we've got we've got demand right here. This is showing me demand. I see a huge buy imbalance right here. That's a MBox buy imbalance right here. This is a MBox Delta buy imbalance. I think that got hidden. All right. Got to keep an eye on the market as well. All right. I saw this expansion of demand, cumulative buying going on here. And I saw these, the buy imbalance plus the Stooges signal right here. I got the color wrong. So here we've got the plus 250 buy imbalance. And a Stooges signal. All right. So, we made a higher low, we made a higher high. So it looked like, prices, trending up here. So I put my stop right here under this swing point. I put my profit here at the top of the swing. I don't really have a good indication if, when I zoomed out and I compared to some of these previous lows, I didn't have a good indication of where to, set my profits to run to, so I just put it here. Considering we've got a news report, things can get, volatile and, things can move quickly. So, thought I'd put in my take profit here. Everything's, I mean, to me, it's looking strong. We have many points where the indicators are all agreeing with each other, right? And I'd also like to see, the thing is, not only do we have an expansion of cumulative buying here in the cumulative delta, but when I show zoom out, I say that it exceeds the previous day. To me that gives it an extra point. Exceeds buying of previous day. To me that's an extra point of confluence, and strength. So I forgot to write here, we've got the pace of offers. And looks pretty huge to me. And it exceeds, and exceeds pace of offers for the previous day. So to me, those are like 2 points, right? So when people ask me, how can, be sure or more confident in your trades, the more points you can find that, fit the story of the chart, the more confident, one can be in their trading. And so when I see a setup where, everything lines up, to me it gives me confidence to take that trade, right? So, market's still moving here. It's kind of just wobbling up and down, but, to me it looks like price needs to go up. That's how it looks like to me. There's so much bullish story to this picture that that's what it looks like. So how many points do we have of confluence? So, we've got, we've got this, congestion area. So let me write this down. So we have a, we have a breakout of this congestion zone. All right. And that happens on this candle right here. So this is, we broke out of that right here. So let's see, what do we got? We've got, so broke out of congestion zone, that's 1. We see demand, that's 2. Cumulative buying expanding, that's 3, plus it exceeds the previous day, that's 4. Huge pace of offers, that's 5, plus it exceeds the previous day, that makes it 6, right? We come here, we see we have an MBox delta buy and balance. So what that means, so that's 7. So what that means is that we have more buying than selling while price is moving down. All right, but I didn't get in to the position. I waited until we reached a swing point, and what gave me the confidence, good confidence, was this buy and balance and Stooges signal. So that's the buy and balance, that makes it 8, and the Stooges signal, that makes it 9. Along with we're making a higher high and a higher low. All right, so to me that's 10 points of confluence. Higher high. Let's change that color. And the higher low. It keeps on wanting to, it keeps on changing the color on me. Alright, that's alright. And we got the higher low. So that's 10 points. Alright, so, now to me it's, look, we're ready, we're $3,000 in profits. Things are looking very bullish. At this point I could say, perhaps, we'll reach this target and it could go even higher. I mean, look, we're seeing more demand here. Let me move this a little bit, scale it. It's got this huge buy imbalance, but I'm also seeing, huge renewal of demand, right here. Even, more demand, and this was also more demand, right? So we've got more demand now. Right? So, we've got, initially at the time where I took the trade, we had 10 points of confirmation. And then as the trade develops, I also am reading the indicators like this right here. I see more demand. That confirms my position and allows me to remain confident in the trade I took, right? I'm also seeing that, cumulative delta buying is also, expanding further right here, right? So this happened right here, and this more demand, this happened after I took the trade. But so I'm watching the indicators after I take the trade, because this confirms my position, and this reconfirms my position. So it's like two reconfirmations right here, you know. Um, so I guess we'll just put it on pause right now. I mean, things are looking very bullish. Um, I'll put the record on pause and, come back when we see a little more. All right, so we're back, and I just hit my target. So I'm up over 8 grand for the day. Actually, something interesting happened, and I didn't get it on video, but I actually moved up my take profit just slightly. So let me turn on the chart order fills, right? So I got in right here and exited here. Now what happened was that as I saw the price was edging up here, and I'm seeing all this demand coming in, more demand and even more demand. So this is even more demand. So everything's still looking bullish. What I also saw, what I really liked is I saw this right here. Look at that. I mean, that is pretty much zero supply. Well, zero supply. Usually I call it no supply, but I mean, there's just no supply. I mean, it's not just that there's little amount of supply. It's just a poop, just a little tad of red, and that's it, So after I saw this no supply, and I'm seeing strong demand in the MBox Delta. So initially I had my stop here. I just moved it a little bit. I was gonna just watch how the indicators were gonna pan out, but then it just hit that arbitrary stop. I said I just raised it by a few points, and ended up hitting it. It looks like price went up even more after that. But so that was actually interesting. When I see a situation like this where I saw zero supply, I like to see this because this is the response, right? So when you see all this demand, right, it's good to see what is the response. The response is there's no supply, right? So I moved it up a little bit, and I was just going to watch the price action, but then it ended up just hitting that moved up target. So I got out at that point, and it looks like it's still going up. But I'm very happy about that trade. Worked out very well. So this was a move due to the news report, right? And when I saw this big buy imbalance, to recap, we had this congestion zone here, huge breakout. Then I saw this huge buy imbalance along with the demand, the cumulative buying, the pace, and the pace and the cumulative buying were exceeding the previous day completely, with this extended blue line. I just saw this demand in the MBox Delta, the buy imbalance here, the MBox Delta, and here, and at that point there was 10 points of confirmation, and so I took a long entry, put my stop here, but when I saw the demand was strong, I just raised it by a few points, and was planning on watching the indicators, but it just hit it, and so now I'm out of the trade and got a profit of over 8 grand for today. So very happy about that, and that'll be it for me today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.